G'day Perth! My name is Alden Hayes and I would like to thank you all on behalf of March for Australia WA and March for Australia nationally for joining us today. As we've seen nationwide, people are turning out in absolute droves to celebrate our national day, Australia Day. As we get proceedings underway, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and commemorate the sacrifices of our Christian, Anglo-Celtic, European ancestors. From the First Fleet and the Fathers of Federation, with blood, sweat and tears, through determination, dedication and discipline, they conquered, tamed and cultivated this beautiful nation we call home today. On that note, I would ask the rest of the organisers to join me here on stage, and I would ask you all to rise as we observe the Australian National Anthem.
That goes Australia.
Mama, say something.
The microphone won't be working now.
It's working, I can hear you.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of technical difficulties here. Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing. I got a good speaking voice, not a good singing voice.
Give it to me then.
Come on then. Come on then. Yeah, here we go. Here's a patriot. Thank you.
All right, Colin.
Soil and wealth that's lost. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. Being history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Alright, well there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Good on you, Perth. We absolutely love yous. Alright, on that note, I'm going to hand off to our first speaker for the day. Our lovely state organiser, Bailey Berghoff, has a few choice words before we dive into our speaker's official. Once again, on behalf of March for Australia, thank you all for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and have a beautiful, beautiful Australia Day.
Thanks for that awesome introduction to the day, Hayes. That was not how we planned it, but we got there in the end. Awesome. Just wanted to take a moment to explain some things about today. A lot of you have seen our location was changed a couple of weeks ago. We put a flyer out and had to change that more or less the next day. The maps should be passed through the crowd with a route on them. This is not the ideal route, but it's what the police have allocated us. Unfortunately, we have to abide by those rules. They know best how to keep everybody safe, and at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We've had multiple hurdles thrown at us by the City of Perth Council. I reached out to them back in November following our last event to seek approval for multiple venues and to see if we could work in cooperation with their annual city events. I received a blanket reply of, "We do not support or approve of any political events in proximity to our Australia Day events." I then reached out to other shires in the surrounding area and got the same generic response. This was back and forth for weeks. This was until I was made aware that the council had approved the annual Invasion Day nonsense. This is just down the road from us now. It's taken both locations we had originally planned to use, and they should be marching off a little bit earlier than us, which is why our march doesn't start until 2:45. We're going to hang around here, do some speeches, we'll get pretty much everything done and out of the way. We'll go for our march, we'll come back, and then we'll get some people up from the community and just give you guys a bit of a voice back. We posted our flyers anyway, and where we had the council was cede their policy, and we were given the permit today to stay here in Wellington Square. It's pure madness, and it just goes to show who holds our council's favour. The established powers are eager to force feed our population guilt for actions that none of us were alive for and none of us benefit from. But we're here proving that it's a waste of time. We will stand for our nation and celebrate our great achievements without fear or shame. We live in the greatest country on earth, and we're proud to be Australian. Long live Australia. Now, that's my short little piece. I'll be back up a little bit later on with a bit more energetic speech. I'm going to hand off to a man who's proven his loyalty to the freedoms we hold so dear. I'm not sure how this man does what he does, but what I do know is he is constantly committed to fighting for less government overreach and more power to us as a people. Can we please get a round of applause for Mr. Jordan Woodhams of the Libertarian Party?
All right, Australia! Man, that looks good out there. Hold up your flags, because holding up your flags right now feels like a little act of rebellion. We all need to remember what it feels like to rebel just a little bit. Okay, because they tried to shut this day down. Today is our national holiday. People all across the country are celebrating Australia. Celebrating Australia's achievements. Our people, the people that make this place great. This place is so bloody great, the whole world is trying to get in here. And while I love this country, I need to make a clear distinction. When I talk about Australia, I'm talking about the people who make this place great. I'm talking about you people. What I'm not talking about, there is a clear distinction between the Australian people and the Australian government. Today, I'm celebrating the Anzacs, who fought and died for a free country. I'm thinking about the men and women who sailed across the ocean not knowing exactly where they were going to land, and then built all of this. And I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful because look at where we started and look how far we've come. That's what I'm proud of. Australians enjoy some of the highest standards of living in the world, and that's something we should be proud of. It happened because people built a free society and maintained it. And until recently, Australia was one of the freest countries on earth. We used to rank 5th in the world for human freedom. We currently fallen to 10th place. Now 10th is still pretty good. We're beating 190 other countries. But you don't fall 5 places in 5 years because of good management. And I'll bet we've fallen a few more places since they passed the cash bill on Tuesday. And that's why this distinction matters so much between the country that I love and the government that I loathe. And now, because of a few politicians doing some dodgy backroom deals, Australia can no longer claim to be a country that has free speech. Future generations are going to ask us, what did you do? And there's kids in this crowd right now, and I want those kids to know that it didn't always used to be like this. The people didn't have to be afraid of their government. The government used to have to be afraid of the people.
As it should be. Yeah.
I want to be able to look my son in the eyes someday and tell him that I left this country better than the way I found it. And that's why 5 years ago, I decided to make it my personal goal to get a Bill of Rights into the Australian Constitution with free speech at the top. Because free speech is the fundamental human right, and you all deserve to have your rights recognised. And if that's something that you can get behind, then support those parties that defended free speech and voted against the cash bill last week. Support One Nation. Support the Nationals. Support the Nationals who showed some real backbone and walked away from the front bench. Support those senators like Alexander Antic, and if you want free speech in your constitution, then come and speak to me over the Burgundy tent. My name is Jordan Williams. I'm the president of the Libertarian Party of West Australia, and I love this country, and I intend to leave it better than when I found it. Happy bloody Australia Day, you bloody legends! One Nation is now up. Big fan. Give up a big round of applause for road caddies.
Cheers for that, Jordan. Okay, for all those that don't know me out there already, I'm the state leader for One Nation and a member of the upper house here in the Parliament. It's great to see a lot of you all out here today celebrating Australia Day and what makes our country so great. Who's here because they love Australia and know it's worth fighting for with everything you've got? Who's here because we're led by politicians who either despise our nation or lack the spine to defend it from those who are trying to tear it down? Let me ask you, where are the Liberals up here? Where are the Nats? Simple. They're hiding, terrified the media will pounce if a few bad apples show up here in the crowd. But I'm here, and if I get attacked for being here, that's okay. That means I'm doing my job. Because how can I say I'll fight for you if I won't be attacked for you? Think about it. Hundreds of proud, patriotic voters out there are right here standing tall. But when push comes to shove, those parties choose dodging headlines over defending our country every single time. And Labor, even worse, they're not here because they hate this country outright. That's why they're obsessed with scrapping Australia Day, dissolving our borders and muzzling our voices. But One Nation, we show up every time. And now I'm here, let me lay out what we're fighting for. An end to mass immigration. A rock-solid ban on foreign ownership of our land. Shutting down the student visa loophole straight to citizenship. An ironclad, unbreakable free speech for every Aussie. Who here cheered when Labor, with the help from the Liberals, rammed through the anti-hate group bill in federal Parliament? I certainly did. It's time we defend free speech in Australia before it's too late. These laws, they're a sneaky trap to police your words and even your thoughts. Already they're being twisted to crush anyone who dares to dissent. If they silence one voice, yours could be next. Here's the scary truth about these anti-hate group laws. No Aussie is safe. The Home Affairs Minister gets godlike power to label any group a hate group and shut it down. No trial, no evidence needed, no real checks, and it applies retroactively. Once labelled, you're done. The bar absolutely low. Just the minister's belief that a hate crime happened. So-called safeguards, laughable. ASIO's boss, a political pick, gives advice under pressure. The opposition gets a heads up but can't block it. The Attorney General, well, he just toe the party line. A committee reviews it later but can't undo the damage. Only a parliamentary vote can kill it. And guess who just voted for these laws? Yeah, unlikely. It's marketed to hit extremists like Hizbut Tahrir and neo-Nazis, but it's a wide net. It could snag think tanks like the IPA, Advance Australia, even Jewish groups. Irony alert, Hizbut Tahrir isn't banned. It's fired up, suing and recruiting more than ever. No group is off limits. ASIO just needs to be satisfied it's a hate group. It doesn't even have to push violence, just increase the risk of it. Heck, if your group provokes someone else to lash out, you're the one getting banned, not them. A bonus twist. This pushes radicals to dodge it by forming political parties. Smart move for them, nightmare for us. The hate crime trigger, so vague it could have banned the No campaign against The Voice. The supposed objectives, protect Aussies from social, economic, psychological or physical harm. Just subjective garbage ripe for abuse against anyone. The rollout, a total sham. 2 days of consultation for laws that reshape our freedoms. MPs, media, everyone blindsided. It's a slap in the face to democracy. But here's the spark of hope. Your pushback has been epic. Free speech is roaring back into the spotlight. It's time we put Australians first. Restore our standard of living and our way of life. Now it's on us. Reach out to your local MPs and community groups. Share the real dangers of this. Let's unite. One people under one flag as one nation. Now, I'm here today on Australia Day, a day that we should be uniting as one. But instead we have other groups that want to make it about division. No one here wants this country divided. I just want a country that resembles something like I grew up as a child. When I could go out the back, go on the road, play cricket, go down the park and feel safe. I want my children to be able to walk down the road and feel safe. I want to be able to raise my flag and say I'm a proud Australian without being called a racist for that. I travelled the world and I've been around, and when I was travelling around, when I was backpacking around, people used to look at us and they would talk to me, oh, you're Australian. Great. I was proud to wear that Australian flag on all my clothes, whatever. We were looked upon a country of freedom and a place where people wanted to come because of them freedoms. So today isn't about division, it's about unity, and it's about being able to say we're proud Australians and being able to promote that flag and us as Australians. So thanks guys for being here, for showing up, for fighting for what is right for this country.
Define Australia.
So anyway, I'm going to finish up now and hand over. Oh, let's go now. Let's go again. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Yeah, that's what we want to be proud of. Thanks, guys, and I think I'm handing over to Paul Howard now. I think he's around here. Paul Howard, you jumping up here now, mate? We've got Paul Howard jumping up here to take over. So, again, thanks a lot for having me, and we'll talk to you later.
Well done, Rod Caddies. Oh,
some excitement. Happy Australia Day, everybody. It is truly an incredible and humbling experience to be standing up here today and looking out at a sea of true blue Aussie patriots. And it should fill all our hearts with joy and happiness that so many of us have gathered here today to celebrate our great nation, Australia! Today we acknowledge the true spirit of Australia Day, one that is made up of mateship, determination, optimism and a fair go, which we have inherited from a unique and special people, one of courageous explorers, brave settlers, long-suffering convicts and of course the Anzacs. Now, we Aussies have other traits as well, such as an easygoingness, she'll be right mate, which is a good trait to have, but one that can have negative effects, such as not seeing the danger in front of us. One such danger is mass immigration, which is disastrous for so many reasons. But thankfully, enough of us Aussies have awoken to the danger and are now standing up against it. We must also remember that Australia is a democracy, and our politicians are not elected to rule us, they are elected to serve us. So we must continue to push back as we are doing today. Otherwise it will be only a matter of time until we are all forced to celebrate Oz-Chindiastan Day. And I don't think any of us here today want that. We must continue to be proud of our Anglo-Celtic ancestry, as we are the backbone, the base, the root, the core, the anchor. And we are the strength of Australia. Australia is not strong because of diversity. That's bullshit. We are strong despite diversity. When we think of well-known and famous Australians of the past and present, whether they be political, such as Sir Robert Menzies and Bob Hawke, sportsmen, such as Donald Bradman or Margaret Court, or entertainers, such as Paul Hogan and Kylie Minogue, we automatically conjure up images of these famous Australians because they are true Aussies. They are Anglo-Celtic Australians. And we must always remain proud of that fact. Now, with our unique sense of humour, I can confidently say that us Aussies want our cultural icons to remain Aussie rules football, meat pies and home and away, or maybe neighbours. We do not want our cultural icons to become rickshaw racing, spicy hot curries and the best of Bollywood. Australia is truly the nation of beauty, rich and rare, and we must never let this be forgotten. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. I'm Paul Howard from the Australian Patriots Party, and it has been my pleasure and honour to speak to you all today. Enjoy the rest of Australia Day, and goodbye.
Albo's definitely a traitor. What a good couple of speeches we had there. Thanks guys. We had a plan originally to go off and do our march, and we'll come back and do our open mic, but we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do our open mic now before we march, just fill out our time and stick to the established rules. If anyone wants to come up and say a few words, just come down and we'll have a chat over here on the stage. I'm just gonna smash out my little spiel here, and then we'll play some tunes and we'll get on with it. So, what a truly chaotic time it's been in our once great nation over the last few weeks and months. Despite relentless pressure and vilification from our treasonous government, its media mouthpieces, peddled by the woke mob the corrupt institutions have created over the years, that's only accelerating the downfall of our country. You showed up today to march for Australia. You proved that true blue Aussie grit is still alive and burning strong in this country. Give yourselves a huge round of applause, because that courage is exactly what's going to hold us together. For months, for years, we've watched our once great nation betrayed by corrupt leaders who answer to everyone except the Australian people. They sell us out to foreign powers, they criminalise our patriotism, they strip away our most basic democratic rights, and they try to turn neighbour against neighbour.
Yeah.
They expect us to just roll over while they replace us, while they flood the country with mass immigration at levels we never asked for and we never voted for. They shove colonial guilt and divisive indoctrination down our throats. They ignore our petitions. They mock our demands for real reform. But let's be crystal clear. Western democracy, the democracy our forebears fought and died for, is built on rock-solid principles that run in our blood.
Yeah.
The right to free speech, the right to freedom of association, the right to political expression without Big Brother breathing down our necks.
Yeah.
These aren't optional extras. They're the foundations of democracy and the Western world. The Uni Party has spent decades and billions of our dollars trying to tear these foundations down so they can keep their stranglehold on power. Make no mistake, the Liberals and Labor are two wings of the same bird. They would see centuries of history erased and countless bloodlines wiped from existence if it meant they kept their positions. They call us fascists, bigots, small-minded. Meanwhile, the real authoritarians sit in the parliamentary offices, passing laws to silence dissent and control the conversation. Australia is no longer a functioning democracy. What we have left is an illusion. One they maintain with censorship, propaganda and unchecked migration that changes the very electorate itself. That's why March for Australia started with one simple, unbreakable message: end mass immigration. Because as long as the current insane intake levels continue, we will never break the Uni Party's grip. Why would new arrivals vote against the very politicians who open the doors for them and keep promising more for their families? It's basic maths. They're importing their future voting blocks. We've been pushed onto the back foot lately. They've thrown everything at us. Legal threats, media hit pieces, police pressure, council hurdles. But look around. We're still here. We're growing. And today, you've shown the country that ordinary Australians are standing up and refusing to disappear quietly. This fight is long. It won't be won in one march or one election. But today we've reminded ourselves and reminded them that the spirit of this land doesn't bend easily. We are the glue, we are the grit, we are Australia. Because this country belongs to us. It's rightful heirs and we're taking it back. Nothing is more important than the preservation of the Australian identity and its people. Not the government's obsession with social cohesion, nor its forcefully imposed multiculturalism. Not the multinationals' profit margins, not the media's headlines, and not the left's feelings of entitlement or lack of self-awareness. Nothing is more important than our people and our freedoms. And by God, we'll have our home again. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 God bless you, Perth. History will remember our stand here. I wish each and every one of you a truly special Australia Day. And remember, always was, always will be, January 26th.
In the words of Troy McClure of The Simpsons, some of you may remember me from the COVID years, when the battle for freedom was, should we be forced to put our nappy on our face, and should we be allowed to go to the beach without being arrested? Followed by, should we be allowed to say no to an injection which may kill us or maim us for life. Some of you may remember me from the media headlines of a racist, horrible, bad apple who stood for council at the local Bustleton election, where the media said, through certain paid for lobbyists, paid for by your taxes, they hold their jobs, that I should not be allowed to stand in an election because I apparently want to put gas chambers all over every toilet in Australia. And some of you may remember me from exactly 1 year ago, when I was arrested along with 15 of my fellow men for singing Waltzing Matilda on Australia Day. And was held in prison, maximum security prison, for 4 months. 13 weeks of which were in solitary confinement.
Shame on the government. Tyrant. Shame on the government.
I am here today to dispel a myth. You were lied to. You were lied to back in the days of weapons of mass destruction. The media and the politicians lied to you. You were lied to about climate change back in 2007 when Al Gore said the glaciers would be gone by now. You were lied to during COVID when they said 2 weeks to flatten the curve, when all along there were plans to lock you down for 2 years straight. Every single issue in this country that has been important to you, you have been lied to about. But now the media wants to make you believe that they told you the truth about the NSN. Free Joel Davis! Free Joel Davis! I spent 4 months in prison without trial. 1 year ago, Joel Davis is coming up to 3 months without trial for telling people like you to criticize a politician. That is his crime. Criticize a politician, go to jail. Meanwhile, there is a non-Australian who is out on bail for actually threatening the life of the Prime Minister. So an actual, realised death threat gets you out on bail if you are not Australian, but if you are Australian, you get held in jail indefinitely without trial. I want to set the record straight because it has not just been the Liberal Party and the Labour Party that have been silencing me and trying to silence my friends over the last few years. How do you know when a politician is lying? His lips are moving. Let me set the record straight. We have never condoned violence. We have never initiated violence, but we have had violent acts perpetrated against us again and again and again, and whenever we defended ourselves, they jailed us, not our attackers. I am up here today because there is another slander, another lie, another disgusting untruth that was told yesterday, that we have plans to secretly kidnap the Prime Minister. I wouldn't touch that disgusting filth with a 10-foot barge pole. We do not condone violence. We never have. You have been lied to and lied to again.
Yep.
Before us, they silenced the motorcycle groups. No procedural fairness, no right of appeal, nothing. And everyone stood silent because nobody liked bikie gangs because of what the media told them about bikie gangs. And now they have silenced the NSN and made us disband for fear of 15 years in jail for simply going and doing push-ups in the park. And they've done it because they've convinced you that the NSN are horrible people who condone violence. No, we do not, have never, never will. Let them set the record straight. And after us, they are coming for you. Before I identified as a so-called Nazi, they labelled me one anyway. They already label you Nazis. They're coming for you next. These laws must be stopped, and Australia Day must become a political event so we can win back the right to have it as a barbecue event. Until these laws are overturned, do not go to an Australia Day event in the future unless it is a political Australia event fighting for your rights as Australians to be Australians. I do not want to be raided because of some lies by the media, because it doesn't take much of an excuse to put somebody in jail. I was jailed for the crime, the made-up crime of loitering. That was my charge. 4 months in maximum security for loitering. If you think it was bad then, when you could be jailed for 4 months in maximum security for loitering, think how bad it is now that the laws legitimately allow them to jail you for 15 years for doing push-ups in a park with somebody with the wrong opinions. Stand up, Australia, stand up. Organise. You can no longer organise in our group, but you can organise in your local churches, you can organise in your local sports clubs, you can organise with other political parties. You must do more than simply turn up to a protest. Find friends, organise, get together and make a difference to this country. Happy Australia Day!
All right, thank you very much for that rousing speech, Stephen. So before I introduce our next public speaker, he's actually a musician here to play a little bit of a song for us on the harmonica. But before we jump into that, we've just had some breaking news come to us from over on the East Coast. Now, as some of you may or may not know, we had to change locations in Queensland. We had to move from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. Now, our organiser was out on Saturday night, enjoying himself and enjoying the Australia Day long weekend, and he got jumped by 8 individuals. Now, the Australian police have demanded March for Australia remove any social media posts in relation to this event. In the case, it incites hatred. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not okay with that. Because the last time I checked, we still have free speech in this nation. And freedom of information means we can report on things like this. It's all fine and dandy for the mainstream media to spin any amount of garbage and lies they want to. But the moment the everyday Aussie gets out there and lets you know what's happening to your fellow patriots out there, all of a sudden it's inciting hatred. So I would encourage each and every one of you, later today, after we're done here, take to social media. Let the Australian Federal Police, let your local councils, let the federal government know exactly what you think of garbage like this and making demands of a grassroots organisation that was formed and built solely to represent each and every one of you patriots here today. All right, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce a wonderful musician who's offered to come up here and play Waltzing Matilda for us on his harmonica. Can you give us a warm round of applause for Robin?
Hi everyone, this is one of my first times I've got up in front of anyone to do this, so please forgive me. I hope it goes well for Waltzing Matilda. Here we go.
All right, can we get another round of applause for Robin there? That was absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, so our next speaker is a young bloke from here, born and bred in WA. He's got a few words he'd like to say. One round of applause for Joel.
G'day guys, my fellow Australians, happy Australia Day! Those words used to mean something. They once marked the celebration of a great nation, one of the crown jewels and the greatest achievements of the British Empire. What Australia Day once represented and what it has been reduced to today are two entirely different things. That is why movements like this exist, to show the Invasion Day crowd that we have had enough of being told that we cannot be proud of this nation. To show the weak, corrupt politicians in Canberra that Australians are completely done with uncontrolled immigration. To show them that this time we're serious. The Australians who built this country, who fought for it and who died for it, did not do so their descendants could be replaced. They did not sacrifice everything so that future Australians would be priced out of housing, alienated from their own communities, or robbed of any hope for a secure future. Yeah, this is exactly what has, this is exactly what we have been handed by lawmakers and elites. Unchecked immigration policy that has slowly eroded the Australian way of life. I'm 30 years old. When I was a child, people who immigrated here overwhelmingly assimilated. They respected Australian values, embraced our culture, and genuinely wanted to contribute to this country. What we see now is different. Large-scale intake without standards or limits, importing social division, crime and economic pressure, while expecting Australians to accept decline as progress. We have seen where this leads. Look at Canada, look at the United Kingdom, and look at Europe. Europe is the home of most of our forefathers, our ancestors. These homelands are being dismantled by elite policies that openly reject nationalism and national identity. For those here who do not quite grasp the seriousness of this situation, consider these facts. Australia built 170,000 homes in 2024-2025. Our net migration was 308,000. Simple mathematics would tell me that that is not going to fly forever. Since 2015, 2.9 million immigrants have entered Australia in a nation of 29 million. That is 10% of the population.
10% too much.
Since 2015, Australia has suffered 5 terrorist attacks, 4 of them carried out by individuals who immigrated here. The most recently being the atrocity in Bondi in 2025, still fresh in all of our minds. Post-COVID immigration levels have accelerated this crisis at an unprecedented rate. We are now so far down this path that Australians face laws restricting their ability to speak about it. To Anthony Albanese and the career politicians in Canberra, I say, get fucked! To my patriotic Australians here and all throughout Australia, tell them this is our country. Stay organised, stay strong, and make it clear, mass immigration must be stopped immediately. Australia first! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Alright, another warm round of applause for Joel there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Again, this is what March for Australia is all about. We're about giving a voice to the everyday Aussie that wants to speak. So our next speaker is here to represent People First, Jared Reddick's party. Most of you will know. So warm round of applause for Jodie, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, happy Australia Day, everybody. Get closer, yeah. Thanks very much for coming out and supporting your country, coming out and supporting our future. Isn't it amazing to hear our young guys get up? You know, Joel's done an amazing job, hasn't he? Today is all about that. It's our future. It's about our present, and it's about honouring our past. Australia Day is not just about someone's ideology, it's about our culture. It's about us coming together. We are the lucky country, or we used to be. We are a day that, you know, how many of us used to go fishing or get into the four-wheel drive and go up onto the beach? That's what today is about. Community, family.
Deposit for your kids' mortgage.
We need to get back to having a future for the next generation. I want my children to know that in this land, that they will prosper. That in this land, that they can make a difference, that in this land they can actually have a voice that will be heard, not land them in prison. We have a country at the moment that is broken. I have said it before and I will say it to you again. Australia is currently broken, and the shenanigans that have gone on over the last week or so just shows it has gone to another depth. We Australians, whether you were born here or whether you immigrated here, so long as you assimilate here and you fight for the prosperity of our nation, and that you stand behind Advance Australia, and that you stand for and with the rest of us, because Australia has got a bright future. Are we not one of the wealthiest nations in this globe? Just because we don't benefit from what's in our ground right now doesn't mean that it's any less ours. We've got policies that need to be implemented to return our nation to the people who we are, Australians. Your life and my life is guided by legislation that started out as somebody's policy. How the hell they came up with 500 pages in a whip? Beyond me.
No consultation. Scumbags.
It's not okay.
No consultation. Scum-a-rat.
So who's representing us?
Same legislation.
They're not the legislation's not representing us.
Albanese.
When I go and speak to my MP, are they listening?
No.
Does it mean that I stop showing up and having a conversation? Hell no.
In the office.
So what I am asking, you know, for Australians is to continue doing this. Be who we are, come together, build community, voice who we are and enjoy our day of Australia Day, to enjoy having family time, to get back into community, and instead of having a them and us, hey, look at this. This is just us, and that's the way it should be.
Our country, our say. We make the rules. They don't like it. The airport's that way.
So what I would like, and this is the reason why I am actually standing up for people first, is at election time is where we can actually make differences. When it's not election time, then we actually support the guys who are in Parliament. We need to support these guys who have been able to get there, because they need every single one of us to ensure that the rest of the crew, we need to make sure that Labor and Liberal are hearing our voices, that they are hearing our concerns.
They hear big business.
That's right.
And
So that's why we're here and continuing to be. So,
they long forgot us.
what I really want to make sure that we're on board with today, guys, is that all you young guys in here and all you young girls know that you are supported, and we want to hear your voices. Know that we are working for a future for you, because you deserve it. And all of you grandmas and pops, we want to ask you to keep doing what you're doing, keep standing up, keep showing up, because you guys are the ones who are making a difference. Did we not just have a bill shut down? Yes, they may have changed it, but they do listen when they know they can't get away with stuff. So keep your voices going, keep standing up, keep showing up, keep building community, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. Australia, we are a nation that is the Anzacs. We keep standing up when they think they've got us. We just absolutely are able to come and pull back together. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the other guys and Rod, what they're doing, and Tyron in Parliament. They're doing a stellar job. So let's get behind. Let's make sure that we are supporting the parties and the candidates and people who are stepping up. Thanks very much. You have an amazing day. Happy Australia Day.
Another warm round of applause for Jody from People First there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so our next speaker is here on behalf of the Sovereign People's Assembly of Western Australia. A warm round of applause for Greg, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome everybody. First of all, I'm going to say I'm glad to see you all here, and I'd like to give yourselves a round of applause. Could you do that, please? Because nothing happens without you, the people. Oh, sorry, I've got to hold it together, Rob. I just don't want to dribble in it. You can tell I'm a bit older than the rest of the speakers because my notes are still on paper. Plus, I don't know whether I'm going to finish before I need to do a wee. That comes with age. But anyway, we'll give it a shot. But I could do it with a beer right now.
No low ranger there, mate.
I'm the convener of the WA Sovereign People's Assembly of WA, and we're a common law group. We are not political, and we don't hate anybody. But what we do is we try to hold the government and all their agencies to account. So I'm just going to quickly talk about law and legal. Some of you will already know that, and all the people with the red flags probably know a lot more than I do. But we won't go into that. Law is for the living man and woman. That is us. Legal are the rules for the non-living entities such as companies and corporations. And that's pretty much it. Just like... Who was that?
You win.
I'm sure there's a prize for that.
You get that on video.
Lucky I wear the big hat. Just like McDonald's would have rules for their employees, but anyone not working there does not have to listen to them. And that's the same as legal for all of us. Common law is the law of the land and of the people. Legal is maritime admiralty law, commercial law, law of the sea. And
Hey, why aren't we marching? People are leaving. It's going to look bad or good for the media.
I'm sure.
Why aren't we marching?
They throw the rules out
I'm not
the
running this show, darling.
You can talk about a system that's so broken it just doesn't function anymore. Stop talking about the rule of law when they wipe their ass with it and flushed it down the toilet. Private meetings behind doors, no consultation, because they've got the power in the Senate. If you want to spoil, you can line up. Yeah, well, mate, I ain't getting any younger either.
And I'm sure Billy, I'd like to thank Billy from March Australia. Like, he's doing a great job, Billy. And he's the reason, he's the person running the show, man. It's all good. We're all here on the same side.
Make your point.
The point is, and we from the Sovereign People's Assembly, we don't just do this today, we're doing this all the time. We do this every week, non-stop. We are all responsible for our own actions. Common law basically revolves around do no harm, cause no loss, commit no fraud, and keep the peace. We are all responsible for that. Where there's no victim, there is no crime. At the moment in this country, in Australia, there are 19,000 people on remand. That's people that are in jail that haven't been committed of any crime.
Yeah, like Joel Davis.
This is a sign that the failed judicial system, although it is a business that makes a lot of money. So is it a failed system, or is the system designed for profit?
Yeah, politicians are leaning on the judges to implement their political agenda. That's what they're doing. Look at England. We're 5 years behind England. If we're lucky, wake up. Fucking wake up.
Well, on that note, that's why we are not a political organisation. We believe you cannot vote your way out of this mess, because all the governments are controlled by the UN, the WEF, and the WHO, and the globalists above that. The government should be our administration group, which they don't doing that at all. Let's face it, how can we be a resource-rich country with a lot of people that are working very hard, and yet we're still $1 trillion in debt? How does that happen?
Because they're fucking communists.
Because if our government was the head of a corporation, they would have been sacked a long, long time ago.
Help the white man of Australia first. It's made of a company they wouldn't be operating. It's insolvent. Excuse me, why aren't we marching? $1 trillion in debt, we're still giving foreign aid.
Yeah, protest.
Still letting them in.
Yeah, we're protesting.
So we're not allowed to march because the invasion.
No, we ask. I can't answer those questions. You're in One Nation. Ask One Nation why we can't.
Let him fucking speak. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm not worried at all. Our government has not been constitutional and has been fraudulent for a long, long time. I won't get into the details because obviously some people have been here too long to listen, but...
Greg, yeah, I'm going to need you to wrap it up.
All right. All right. Okay.
Are you communist too?
I'm winding this up. I've got a lot more to say, but as I said, if we want things to change, it is up to us. Not just today, all day and every day. We just have to hold the line. Yeah. If you want to find out more, wacommonlaw.au is to our website. But as you know, not everyone's going to do that. Well, we don't care. We'll be here today, tomorrow, the next day, next year, as long as it takes. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for your support, my friend.
See you again.
All right, thank you, Craig. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I understand fresh frustrations and tensions are starting to run high. Everybody wants to get on the move. I understand that. Right, let me be very, very clear. All right, without a permit, all right, the March for Australia organising team faces being arrested and jailed for us being here today. All right? All right, in future, you host. You organise. Alright, no, cool. No, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, it is bullshit, mate. 100% it is. We're also facing the issue that if you bother to have a look at social media right now, the Invasion Day protest is actually being evacuated up the top there right now because there's been a bomb threat. Again, yeah? I'm not going to argue with you, mate, because at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason. We're all standing for the same thing. But the problem is, because of these actions that are going on right now, we can't even try and get additional permissions to go and start marching right now because the entire ROG is up the other end. Now,
maybe the bomb is just something to say, hey, it's a political tool to stop us.
Look, I don't think it's to keep us here because at the end of the day, the police have done everything they can. They've worked with us. It's Perth City Council that have tried to screw us. All right. Now we could just go and take off right now if you want to, but the problem is you're not the one that faces the consequences. It's people like me. It's people like our state organiser Bailey that have to end up answering for those actions and facing those consequences. So I'm asking for a little bit of calm, please, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of decorum. Again, we're supposed to be the good guys here, right? We're not supposed to be the unwashed masses and uneducated rabble that have assembled up in Forest Chase there today. So let's just calm it down, take it down a notch. Look, I understand, it's Australia Day. We're passionate, we're fired up. We fucking love this country. Yeah. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Yeah. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Yeah. Aussie! Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Yeah. Right, now let's keep that energy, let's keep that bit of positivity. Right, to give you a little bit of actual food for thought for a moment. Now I was going to save this for just before we went marching today. Give me one moment, guys. All right, so, yeah, come on, Blondie. Come give me a hand for a moment. So, now, I love Australia. That extends to everything that is Australian. So what I wanted to do today is, I don't have a speech prepared. I wanted to read a short poem by Henry Lawson. Right, back in the early 1900s in through to the 1920s, he was known as the people's poet. And if you go through and you read a lot of what he penned and a lot of what he wrote, it'll show you this country has been facing the same things for well over 150 years at this point. So, if I can have your attention for the moment, I'd like to read to you Waratah and Wattle. Right, yeah, you've got to keep it up nice and close for me. Waratah and Wattle. Though poor and in trouble, I wander alone, with a rebel cockade in my hat. Though friends may desert me and kindred disown, my country will never do that. You may sing of the shamrock, the thistle and the rose, or the three in the bunch if you will, but I know of a country that gathered all those, and I love the great land where the Waratah grows, and the wattle bough blooms on the hill. Australia, Australia, so far to behold, while the blue sky is arching above. The stranger should never need to be told that the wattle bloom means that her heart is of gold, and the Waratah red blood of love. Australia, Australia, most beautiful name, most kindly and bountiful land. I would die every death that might save her from shame, if a black cloud should rise on the strand. But whatever the quarrel, whoever her foes, let them come when they will. Though the struggle be grim, 'tis Australia that knows that her children shall fight while the Waratah grows and the wattle blooms on the hill. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's a poem by Henry Lawson. That poem in particular is from 1899. So it's well over 100 years ago. So it just goes to show, everything we're facing today, we've faced it all before. We can make it through this, but we can only do that together. So once again, enjoy Australia Day. We thank you all for joining us. We're waiting to hear from ROG. We should hear something in the next 10 to 15. No, they can't cancel us, mate. Nah, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen.
8 o'clock tonight if we have to.
Exactly. There you go. Thank you very much, sir. If we have to, we will march at 8 o'clock tonight. Look, I'll be honest with you. It's not about the size of your crowd, it's about the passion of your crowd. And I can tell you this much, right? The organisers here for March for Australia in WA, on an almost weekly basis at the moment, we take to the streets of the Perth. We fly our flags high. We walk through some of the most dangerous territory that's here in the CBD. Once a week, we do it on our own. Because we will make sure that people out there know that this is Australia. This is our country, and we will stand up and fight for it, just like each and every one of you are out here doing. Once again, thank you all for coming out. The fact that you're all still standing here shows us that you are the patriots that we are standing and fighting for.
Yes, yes.
So,
and that next generation.
just bear with us. Yeah, exactly. It's not just the next generation. Like,
It's the one after that.
I'm 41. All right.
I'm 60.
I've got 4 children. Within the next decade, I'm welcoming my first grandchild.
I got 3 daughters.
Right. So I'm not standing here to fight for me. I'm not standing here to fight for my children. I'm here standing to fight for my grandchildren. Right? Because it's them that are going to be priced out of the housing market like most of us already are. It's them that aren't going to be able to get a job because they've been replaced by foreign demographics. So
Half-licking politicians who sell us out with over-immigration.
there's definitely a bunch of those out there, mate. There's definitely a bunch of those out there. Right, on that note, guys, I'm going to welcome our next speaker. I haven't had a chance to chat with him and introduce him properly, but just bear with us. We'll get through another couple of open mic speakers, and we'll find out what's going on, and we're going to take to the streets of Perth. God bless each and every one of you.
Righto, righto, righto. Nah, get up here, dogs. Come on, get up here. Come on. Get up, come on. Get up. Good boy. Come on, get up. Righto. Now, it might be time for a little Australian interaction with the crowd. Who watched the Scorchers beat them last night? Go Scorchers! Australian culture. That's the purpose of my speech here today. I didn't actually know I was doing this till I got handed the mic, but I've got a little slogan. Righto, righto, righto. Elbow, time to go. Thank you, Sue, for your sign. There, we'll give it back to you nice and safe. So Australian culture, I got up this morning. I went out in the backyard, had a piss and a look around. That's called a swaggy's breakfast. And that's Australian culture. I jumped in the Ford Territory, drove on down to South Cottesloe Dog Beach, took the dogs, Ruby and Rebel, the Border Collie and the Red Heeler. They've come off the farm. I work in mining now. And there's a lot of people here, isn't there? And basically that's Australian culture. People walking on the beach, dogs dropping a load on the beach. I picked it up, threw it in the bin, had a swim, came on down here, and I'm wearing my Coogee Surf Lifesaving Club t-shirt, but then bought one for 25 bucks over at One Nation, changed my t-shirt. Australian culture. When I grew up in the 70s, Australian culture was you bought your house and then you gave it to your kids, or you helped your kids buy their first house. You got married, you went to Caulfield South Primary School like I did in the 70s. You had religious instruction, where you learnt the religious Christian stories that have now disappeared due to diversity, equity, inclusion, which don't include Christianity or the stories of the Bible. The stories such as the Emperor's wearing no clothes, which I found out when I lived in Melbourne during coronavirus. We were bullshitted to by Dan Andrews and his understudy, Socialist Barbie, Jacinta Allen. We were sold out and down the river. I never got vaccinated, I lost 3 jobs. I came to Perth to work in mining, and that's what I'm doing today. And what I see here is what I see all around the country and around the world, because I've travelled extensively. People are good people, like all of us here. We've all got common culture and good values, Christian values, but we're getting walked on, trampled over, because we're letting it happen. The one thing we can do is change Australia by changing our vote. I used to vote Liberal, and when I went to the country I voted National. COVID came along and I said no, never again. I voted United Australia Party and helped put Ralph Babbitt in the Senate in Australia. You've got the opportunity to do exactly that. If you're not happy with the way things are, stand up as I am. I didn't think I'd be doing this today, and have a yak. Talk to your friends, your family, your community members, those that you know. Start posting on social media.
because that's the only hope we've got. We've been dispossessed of our guns, and I want to talk about Australian culture. When I grew up in 1972, my parents bought a house at 12 Scott Street, South Caulfield. Dad worked a job, Mum stayed at home, we had one car. We bought our first house at 12 Scott Street, South Caulfield for $12,000. The average wage was somewhere between $2 and $3 grand a year, and somehow we survived on that, raised 2 kids. My sister and I are now married with kids. I'm divorced, but that's how it goes. That's Australian culture. And what happened was in 1972, 12 grand, 12 years later, 1984, sold it for 70 grand. Dad said, this is great, we've paid the house off. Let's move to Brighton. If you know anything about Melbourne, it's a bit like living in Armidale, shifting to Mossman Park. So we bought a joint there for 200 grand in 1984, and in 1988, we sold it for 506 grand. Dad had never made so much money in his life. He goes, this is unbelievable, I'm moving to the country. He bought a farm. That's when he fucked up. But it's pretty tough making a living on the farm, I can tell you. But what's happened since is that property's been smashed to the ground, and they've built 2 triple-storey houses with a common wall and car parking underneath, and that whole precinct now is worth over $6 million. And I see the same here in Perth. Property is now out of reach for you, your children, your grandchildren. It is part of the Australian culture to own your own home. And I don't know how many times I've heard people say, you will own nothing, you will be happy. No, I'm not happy about that at all. The whole purpose of this country is to have your place, your patch of land where you raise your family, you live your life, you have your memories in your community, because that's what I used to do. I used to go with Peter Ivinskis on our bicycles when we were 8 years old, and we'd cycle down to the nets at Caulfield South Primary School, where we both went to primary school, and then we go to the tuck shop, the milk bar, and get some ice cream cones. They cost maybe 10 cents. Mixed lollies were $5 cents a bag, and all of that has gone out the window. There is no government in Australia who is interested in seeing you get ahead. Zero. They have no intention of getting you out from under their thumb. They will tax you into oblivion. When you die, you're taxed. When you're born, you're taxed. You're vaccinated. Every single step you take is recorded, documented, to keep you under control. They don't want you living your best life. You are there to serve them. We have to turn that around. So my message today is, you have a brain, you have a mouth, you have 2 arms and 2 legs. Do what you can and lead from where you are. You don't have to be in charge of this, that or the other. We've all got smartphones. Get on it. Get onto your neighbours. Proudly display your flags and your t-shirts. I bought this one today for 25 bucks. Didn't know I was going to do it till I bought it. Australian culture is worth living and dying for, as our ancestors prior to us have done, to give us all of this. When we came here, it was a barren land, and we've created it in 200 odd years. And the future is ours to shape, and we cannot allow anyone to take that from us. So give that some thought and ask yourself why in Hungary, for example, they have a family-friendly tax policy. It is a sliding scale. If you're married, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. You have 4 kids, you pay 0 pay-as-you-go income tax. 0. You have 1 child, you get a 25% discount. You have 2, 50%, 3, 75%. You get to 4 kids, you pay 0. You earn $1,000 a week, you keep $1,000. You don't give up $30 or $37 of your weekly wage to the government. Small and good is better than large and cumbersome. And we are feeding the machine, and it's time to make them starve. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Stick around. Cheers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one last speaker. If we're going to have a warm round of applause for Leon, ladies and gentlemen.
What a bloody good-looking crowd! And now, before we get started, has everyone put their machetes in the machete bins? Oh, sorry, wrong crowd. Has everybody set fire to a cigarette shop today? Oh, sorry, wrong crowd. Now, 40% of the people they brought over here to do jobs for us haven't taken up those jobs. You know, so if they don't take up the jobs, they should leave. If you break our laws and you're an immigrant, you should be sent home. So we don't have to pay for you to stay in jail, right? You know, look, full disclosure, I was born in the UK. Now my ancestors came over here and took this place for you lot. And I'll tell you what, I'll apologise to the Aborigines when the Romans and the Normans apologised to me for fucking taking England. You know, 160 people have been shot in the last year and a half. 70% of them have been shot by Muslims. As in Muslim gangs shooting up each other over the cigarette shops and all those sort of things. We spend over $1 billion policing Muslims, you know, for either they're breaking the law or we've got to keep an eye on them for terrorists. Now, I don't think it's unfair to have a look at who's doing all the crimes and saying, listen, they're a little bit aggro from that country, let's not have them. You know, there's millions of other people who want to come over here. I mean, look, this might be a little bit controversial to this crowd, but I mean, look at the Sikhs. Every time there's a fire or something, the Sikhs go along, they fucking they feed everybody, they look after anyone, they don't kill people. Bloody Buddhists don't kill people. You know, we could have had all the Ukrainians or something, you know, but, you know, if you want to see what our future is, have a look at England and Europe. You know, where churches are getting burned down every 5 minutes. There's 3,000 mosques in Germany now, and all the other Western countries, they've had enough. They've figured it out. They're miles ahead of us, and we're too bloody stupid to sort it out. Now, Albo, he goes, you know. Now, if you lot were going to pick the worst neighbours in the world, it'd probably be someone like maybe the Palestinians. You know, go over killing people, you know, shooting people and murdering babies and all that sort of stuff. So what does he do? He brings 40,000 of the buggers over here. Now, the next thing I'm worried about is he's going to start bringing the Iranians over. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of them that are lovely and assimilate and all that sort of stuff, but why take the chance? You wouldn't let a snake in your house in case he bit you. Why take the chance with all these other buggers, you know? Thanks anyway, I love you guys. Eat a meat pie, drink lots of beer.
Warm round of applause again for Leon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've officially had...
Australia first! Down with the hate speech laws! It should be legal to hate Anthony Albanese. It should be legal to hate your local politicians.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of March for Australia, I'd like to thank you all for coming out and joining us today. We know it's been a bit of a piss around today, but unfortunately, you've got to roll with the punches, and it's one of the things that March for Australia is the best at. Thank you, Patriots! From myself personally, thank you all. God bless, and may God bless the great nation of Australia. You've done a fantastic and amazing job yet again today. You can count yourself lucky. You're amongst one of 100,000 plus that have come out today across this great nation, from Sydney to Melbourne, even down on the Gold Coast and little country towns out there that most people have never even heard of. So our sound system, our PA guys had to head home. He's got other stuff to do, so we've taken that down. We're still going to have an open mic section at this point. So if you were looking to speak, please come round. We're just going to run with megaphones. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up for the day because my voice has had enough. And I'm going to hand it off to our state organiser once again, Bailey Berghoff, ladies and gentlemen.
So again, thank you all so much for coming out today. You've really proved that Australian grit is well and truly alive. We are here. We will not be ignored. On that note, down on the foreshore, the City of Perth is holding their annual Skyworks event. I'm sure there's going to be many City of Perth employees down there. If you want to let them know about the mess arounds we've had today and your displeasure with them, be my guest. Go and give them a piece of your mind.
They won't care.
They won't care, but we don't care either. You're going to listen to us. Now, if anyone wants to come up, have a bit of a yarn, more than welcome. Looks like we've got a bit of a line-up going here already, so... Come on, mate.
Okay, thanks a lot. I haven't done public speaking in a while, so please bear with me. So anyway, I'm Stuart. How are we on this National Day of ours? Today is our day to celebrate our nation. A nation built from the ground up through blood, sweat and everything. A nation our diggers fought and paid the ultimate price for, so we can stand here proud and have all the freedoms we have today. Who here is proud to be born and bred here? I'm from the goldfield city of Kalgoorlie-Boulder, and at the end of July last year, I made the decision to leave the laid-back life of a small regional city behind me and come here to Perth, where life is a bit more challenging, but I'm doing my best. In August and October last year, thousands to tens of thousands of us gathered in the city to rally against mass immigration and everything that's resulted from it. We all know that everything in moderation is good, and normal managed levels of migration is how our country was built. Too much of anything is horrible and leads to consequential outcomes, and this is exactly what mass immigration has done. It's even brought evil individuals who want to destroy us, and I'm talking about the tragedy at Bondi Beach in December last year. And my thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected. Every single one of us here got shocked to the core when it happened. And even though our lazy PM, who's also incompetent, in my opinion, has recently announced a royal commission, it may not address the main issues, which are Islamic terrorism. But that's exactly what we need if only he would just listen to us. He's gone as far as to make hate speech laws to shut us up. That's an attack on free speech. There is a saying that goes, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But these laws go too far and cross the line. I've seen on change.org multiple petitions for Alba to resign, totaling in about 10,000 signatures, give or take. These evil individuals don't care about us, and if these people don't care about Australia, in my opinion, I reckon that they too should be sent back. Huh? Yep. Okay, I'll just ask you something. Okay, back on the topic of our national day. Is this better? Okay, so today we celebrate what's fantastic about this great southern land. So let's bring out our inner Aussie, wave those flags so I'm proud, and enjoy it. Thank you for listening to my speech. So hard ride today. May the Lord bless Australia. Stand up strong and last for Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
The whole time I thought
Oh, careful.
Enjoy your trip.
Alright, buddy, I'm still recording.
Yes, everyone. Everyone can hear me well. You probably know me well as Dr. Mark Lofts. I've always spoken against vaccines since 2020, but I'm up here for a bit of a different reason. I want to attack a terrible ideology which has gotten control not just of Australia but so many other countries. It's called white privilege. And this nasty ideology is being peddled by many of the people who are supporting the Invasion Day rally. This disgusting idea says that white people have this secret privilege and that they are basically racist at heart. And this ideology is extremely destructive, and I just want to give people some guidance about how our culture works and who invented this rubbish called white privilege. So many people have contributed to our culture, and that includes full-blood Aborigines. And I draw here, of course, David Unaipon, who was full-blood Aboriginal from South Australia, and he invented, of all things, combed sheep shears, which saved the wrists and arms of so many of our shearers after that, and of course led them to show that Australia rode on the sheep's back in the 40s and 50s. So as for this person who created white privilege, and to see so many white people who are destitute on the streets and so many without jobs, here is his name. His name is Noel Ignatieff. Noel as in Noel, and I will spell his Russian surname. I-G-N-A-T-I-E-V. Noel Ignatieff. He's a Marxist, but he's not a Russian. He's an American. Please look up on your internet or your phone and find about the story of Noel Ignatieff. Then you'll understand white privilege. It's been a pleasure being with all of you. I won't say oi oi oi, but we have to keep fighting.
God bless the Anglosphere. God bless Australia. Thank you, Perth. Hello everyone. I've just been informed we're wrapping up. The videoing today that I've done will be on Western WA Witness. It's a new channel I've created. I'd like to say it's beautiful to see all us Australians coming out to celebrate Australia Day. And I hope you do still go to the fireworks, but just remember, when you sit next to someone who's Australian, wake them up to this truth. Wake them up to what we're talking about. Show them the links to the videos we've done in the past. Because when all Australia is awake to what is going on, then we will have an army that will go to the polls and will vote out these terrible governments and bring in the great ones that have stood up here today. Thank you very much.